Evening, everyone. We're here to look at a couple different books from our Deep Play group. We read a couple different books. One of them was the 50 things you can do with Google Classroom, and another one was working with multimodality. First book was by Alice Keeler and Libbi Miller, and the second book was by Jennifer Rowsell. And then we also had a couple other members that decided to read a couple more, and so we're going to talk about that and talk about what we've discovered in our classrooms. So my name is Kyle Radcliffe, and then we also have joining us many other esteemed colleagues. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is Gretchen Brunza.
Libbi Robinson.
Bessie Rahman.
Jeanette Watkins.
All right, and so let's start off. With a brief summary about the book Working with Multimodality. Gretchen.
Sure. So hi everybody. I'm going to kind of give you a summary of the book, and just to first start, I just want to say that the book really makes you think. And so in Rowsell's book, it's a series of case studies where she actually spends time focusing on various modes as we try to make meaning of the world around us. Oftentimes we use text, but she basically goes into helping us understand that there are many more modes that can help us make meaning of things. So for example, she introduces us to how sound can convey emotion, but so can color. She brings in the whole idea of movement, how movement can spark an interest, a theme, or a change in the plot of how something occurs. And throughout her book, Rowsell invites the reader to consider how, in the digital age, we can make meaning from many modes, not just one. She also encourages those reading her book to seek meaning from many different lenses, as she interviews experts in their fields. For example, she basically does like with people in dance and video game production, film, and poetry. So reading Working with Modality will get you thinking about how you can present anything to someone, whether it be a student or a colleague, but in a different, more thought-provoking way that encourages both you as the presenter of information and your audience as the learner of that to explore what it means to learn in a multimodal world. So that's pretty much the book in a nutshell.
Nice.
Thank you. So, did anybody have any specific passages that kind of stuck out to them? Things that you found surprising or interesting in how you do your classroom?
Okay, this is Bessie, and the chapter that I focused on, I don't know who that was chapter 6, space, right? So one of the things that is fascinating to me is architecture. So I like the way she talked about architecture with Frank Lloyd Wright, because I've actually done the tours of his homes because I like the way they're set up. But this is the thing that I thought about as far as my classroom, where it says the way the classroom is laid out makes a difference in the way the children receive instruction. And I'm trying to look through my notes, and it says, my classroom is peaceful. We have a rocking chair. We have a space for a timeout. We have a small cafe center with the area rug. And when you come in my room, it is calm. And that's what I like. And the children like it. And it helps us because it keeps us relaxed. So it's not overstimulated. Okay? When I thought about it, and I was reading the chapter, because one of the questions says, what surprised me most was connecting architecture with modes of learning. And I thought about the shape, color, space, line, proportions, and how that affected the way of teaching, because it matches with the creativity that's in the classroom.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Did you happen to go to Google Palooza this summer?
I did not.
Oh, there was a guy.
I heard.
It was great. There was a guy there who talked about, like, I can't remember the words that he used, but he talked about redesigning space and kind of hacking your classroom and how you can make it have it just because how you build it, how you shape it, how you put things for different functions, and so it was really fascinating. But the cost of it was
I
was
heard.
not cheap.
Yeah, yeah. It does cost a little bit, and but you know, toward the end, I actually wrote down a quote he had from Tony Roberts,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, I got to make it a little bit bigger so I can read my notes. So give me a moment. He said that he thought of civic spaces like prisons. A lot of prisons are really based around visibility of as many prisoners as possible from the stand of the prison guard. So there's the issue of sight lines, and there's privacy and lack of privacy, and in short, a space monitored, a space based on monitoring people. And I thought about my classroom because there are times when I look at it, and that's what it feels like because the colors are cold, you know, in the schools,
Mm-hmm.
concrete cinder blocks. So I always think about that. It's like I don't want my classroom to feel like that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Did anybody else think of anything in their chapters they were reading?
Yeah, I did. There was a word that kind of stuck out to me, and that was versatility. And so I feel like when you're thinking about like your craft as a teacher, and how like when you present information to students, that there's so much more that you can make meaning of with your students, and there's so many layers. Like I envisioned an onion, right? And so like I'm doing this whole website or digital or online portfolio project with my students in 5th and 6th grade, and it has been really mind-blowing for them to kind of piece by piece by piece like put this website together, and how they like make meaning of what they want to showcase in their learning. But hold on a second, Libby is trying to call me back. Libby, you're back on. We're on the air. I don't know what's going on. I'm putting her on speakerphone.
Okay.
But I hear myself. That's weird. Sorry. But anyways,
Yeah,
with this
I'm on. So for some reason, I can see you guys talking, and I can hear you better from my computer, but it was conflicting with the phone, and so I'm taking it. Yeah.
So you, okay. So you can see us?
Libby, can you see us?
Here's what we were afraid of.
And I can hear you really well on the computer. I can see you and hear you. I just can't join.
All right. Libby, I sent you another invite.
Libby, I went through my CPS email.
What, Gretchen?
I went through my CPS email.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with mine. It says we're not allowed.
All right. Well, Libby, just keep trying, and hopefully before we finish up, you can connect and be able to talk.
Do we want to start over? Or just continue on?
I would say we just continue on.
Well,
And,
I don't know.
but you can, you should be able to still join. Is that why? I mean, do we think that it's...
I don't know, but there's a huge delay on my end because I'm hearing the background noise on hers. Like I hear us talk, and then there's a delay, and then I hear her, like
talk.
what you just said live, it's coming back like seconds later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can...
She just hung up.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. So
anyways, I was talking
ahead.
about just the versatility,
Yep.
and how I feel like when you present something to students, like when you add another dimension, another mode, how it can bring more meaning to another kid. So just even thinking about what Bessie said too, like with color or mood, you know, like the way that I make a video for students or the way that I present a lesson. Like maybe if I added another mode to it, like I'm going to reach another kid, or how I need to be creative and be willing to take risks too with changing the modes that I present to students to maybe reach more kids or to get them curious to explore something in a different way too. So that just kind of stuck out to me.
So have you done that this
Yeah,
year?
so my big Imagine It project is focused on alternative assessment, and this is related to the Google Classroom book, but I basically gave my kids a survey or a form, and I was like, if you could get rid of a test, what would you want? And they gave me all kinds of crazy things. Like I would build something, I would make a movie, I would do a song. And so I didn't give a test, and instead I gave them an alternative way to showcase what they knew. And oh my gosh, like it was awesome. Like just really, really neat. Like I had a kid rewrite the words to stitches that was based on what we were studying in science. So that was just one thing that it was really neat for kids to be able to explore using a different mode to show me what they understood. So
Yeah, I like them taking ownership in their education.
yeah.
It's not just me making you do this. It's saying, I'll give you options. What can we do together?
Yeah. When I was reading towards the end of the book, when she talked about the takeaways, I was looking at the one part where it talks about the recurrent theme of collaboration and communities of practice,
Mm-hmm.
and how that's just so important in all the different modes. And so how do you create that community of practice in the school, within the classroom, with students who have such varying levels of skill and understanding. And so I don't know. I don't have an answer to it. It made me think about that. And the other thing that I got from the book was that I tweeted out to, and I included the Jennifer on the tweet, and I said something about like symbolism, that it seems like from the first chapter, like it talked about how they use different colors for different feelings, and so I tweeted out like symbolism seems like it's based a lot on symbolism, and that's not. Do we even really teach that anymore in school? Like like when I was in school and I was in high school, like I had to read, you had to read like Grapes of Wrath and all these other books that had such deep symbolism, and I don't know that those things are still taught or used. But anyway, she tweeted back and said that she didn't necessarily. She said interesting, and then she said, is it not so much that it's symbolism, but it's more based on aesthetics, and something else. But anyways, it was.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was also trying not to sound like an idiot when I tweeted back because. So. All right, Janetra.
So
Take anything
I
from the
didn't get the
modalities?
multi-modality book. I thought from the previous email that the way I understood is that a couple of people were going to get that book, and then someone else was going to get the other book, and we'd all share it out. So I guess that was not the correct understanding. I guess I misinterpreted it.
That's okay. You didn't have to read that. That's okay.
That's all right.
Well, but I'm just saying the way it was worded, it seemed to me as if someone in the group was going to read that, and then someone. But at any rate, to make a long story short, the 50 things you can do with Google was the perfect book for me because, again, I'm the dinosaur in the group. So what resonated with me, and mine speaking about what resonated with me, what I liked, because it is more of a step-by-step, hands-on approach where it actually guides you into each part of Google Classroom. So I like that because it was user-friendly. It's user-friendly as setting up or creating your um, classroom. So one thing that I noticed that I thought about in our day and time, we always hear, especially in high school, are you preparing students to be able to compete globally? Are they ready to compete globally? So I thought about just myself as a teacher that we should constantly just be re-examining and reflecting and even adapting to our students' needs. So what better way to do that than to embrace technology? Me personally, dinosaur is a little bit afraid of. For me, this book is perfect for that person that has that fear and don't know. They want to integrate technology, but they don't know how to use it themselves. So that was my
That's good.
That's good. It's a good summary of the book too.
yeah.
So funny. I want to actually make a connection between the two. But something that stuck out to me in the multimodality book was they called it the F reading pattern. I don't know if
Oh
anyone
yeah.
remembers. And for those of you who don't know, the F reading pattern is like whenever you're reading something, the most important thing is on the top. It's like the letter F. Like the most important content is up here, right? And
Are
then
you
it goes
saying
across
S
and
or
down.
F? You saying F or F?
F is
F,
in
the
front.
letter F, as in fish.
Okay.
And it's so true, like that whenever you read a website or like you read like a newspaper, you always start in that top left corner and then the bottom right really contains nothing of interest. And that's exactly how Classroom is set up too. So that like when the kids open it, it's like the top left has like all their assignments and then it's like the stream is the next thing where like my kids have taken and run with the collaboration piece on that, which is really awesome to see. They're not just using it for my class, but they're like, what's the literacy homework? What are the math problems? And it's really nice that it's really inclusive. Because Kyle, you had mentioned about collaboration too, and it's just it's a really great way for kids to naturally do that with whatever Google application you're using in Classroom.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Bessie, have you used Google Classroom at all?
Well, see, I'm listening to how positive everybody sounded, and I had to take my children off for a moment because they were kind of using it like Snapchat. So they were on punishment for a little while. It was good for doing the homework and for getting out assignments, but they got a little excited because we talked and playing.
So what do you mean like Snapchat? They were posting things or doing things that they shouldn't say?
Exactly, exactly. They figured out they could post notes and communicate with each other. You know, and I had to tell them, you know, I can see everything you're writing. So
Mm.
off for a minute, and I said we start again at the beginning of the semester. So I think that was like a week or so ago. But it worked well for posting the assignments, for getting everybody to respond back. But I'm kind of like Jeanette. I need to learn a little bit more how to get it to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I mean, I know when I started with it at the beginning of the year, well, not even the beginning of the year, it took us a while till we got our Chromebooks. So I didn't get my Chromebooks until it was October, I think, mid-October, and um, so it was a lot of, and then I just found like the disparity between technology prowess just was
Right.
mind blowing, and so I started doing quick fires at that point to try to just do to like quick, like one of them was take a picture of something that shows a prime number, um,
Oh, that's good.
and then post and then create a document and copy that picture onto the document. So so it was like it made they had to learn how to do it themselves, kind of like what they did to us this summer. Like I need to figure out how to do this, and so it was good, but with each quickfire that I do, they it's hard to be I'm still using it more like figuring stuff out as opposed to actual assessment, because I feel like it's there's some kids who just still struggle with getting the picture, or still struggle with, like, they solve the problem but can't figure out how to do something, or they can't figure out the problem and they can't. So it's just
Wait, I'm downloading something into my drive? Like, what does that mean? How do I upload it?
How do I open it? Where do I put it?
I was like, I am not answering any more questions. Do not talk to me. Figure it out. But
Say no.
I had to do that for them to, like, just get their feet wet and figure it out. Because I'm like...
So imagine Gretchen doing that with high school students. Like, oh my God, really? Their sense of technology beyond their cell phones, uploading to Facebook, is totally different from the manipulatives of a computer, and they have absolutely no clue.
Well, the great thing, just to share with you, Jenetra, is that there is a Google Classroom app, and so I have 5th graders who wanted to download the app. So there's hope for you that if they have the Facebook app or the Snapchat or the whatever, like, they can download the Google Classroom app for free.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that on next week. Probably tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow because I'm only doing it with my one senior class, because one class is enough. So I'm only doing it with the seniors. So I'll have them, we'll see if they can download the Google app. Some of them have those government phones, so that might not be possible. So we'll see.
My thing is...
You may even just start small, Jenetra, and just, like, talk about communication in the stream. Like, just let them chat away in the stream so they get used to it.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, post a discussion question and have them start chatting on the stream. But we had a lot of technical challenges as far as even getting the computers, getting them set up. Some of them were vandalized, where the students were ripping the cords out the back and taking them out. The keyboards, the keys off the keyboards, and switching the keys. So if you type an X, it's really a T, or what, just dumb stuff. So it's just getting beyond all of those frustrating things. That's why I said this was really ambitious for me, because unfortunately they're not, I don't want to say the word used to, for lack of a better word, but just even using a computer, they just have no skills in that at all. So it's like you give a kid a new toy, and instead of, oh, I'm going to play, okay, I'm going to rip it apart and see what this does, and see what happens if I stick this over here, and if I rip this apart. But we're past that a little bit, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a little bit more. So we'll see.
Great. Kyle, you
All
said
right.
that you've been able to, you said you just do it for, like, handing out things, or how do you specifically use Classroom?
Well, so I've been trying to, a couple different ways. One of the things is the quick fires, and making that, so I've been using that, and so basically the quick fire is just like the assignment, and then sometimes I'll give them a sheet that has the assignment on it already, and then everybody gets a, how you can do, everybody gets their own copy. Yeah. So I usually do that. I have not done the everybody shares the same document, so they're all in the same document at one time. I haven't done that.
Mm-hmm.
But
speaking from experience,
yes,
that is a whole lesson in itself, because it's actually good to try that while everyone is physically in the same space, to not do it for a homework assignment, because they see the frustration when somebody changes the background of all the slides, or, like, does something in the document. I did a shared slides presentation, and they really got, like, they were upset about it because someone had changed the background or the font or whatever, and it was just a great lesson, and, like, this is your work, but you're sharing it with someone else, like, so I encourage you to do it while everyone is together, not to, like, send them home with it.
Right. Well, see, that's the other thing. Like, I couldn't assign it as homework necessarily. because there's too many that don't have access at home. So the socioeconomic diversity at the school is just so there's just too many that I wouldn't be able to do that with. There are some who will go home and complete whatever was assigned, but I can't necessarily require it. So so that's one of the ways that that I've been using it. I am also trying to figure out how to do the portfolio aspect. If I want to, because the other thing that I found from like the multimodality book was the idea that all these people, like a lot of the time they spend, it's in the editing process, and so it's like the back end of it. So how do you do, like if you do the initial stuff and you get all these different pictures of different things they're doing, then the curating of that and the editing of that, I'm not sure how I want to do that. Do I take 3 days, you know, of class where you go in and pick the different things that you want and then pull it out of the classroom and then create a website, or you just create your own documents and then worry about the website later? I'm not sure. So Gretchen, are you using one website, or are they all creating their own?
So,
well, for me, they're go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jennifer, go.
No, because they're seniors, I have them all creating individual ones.
Okay.
Before I really took a look at the Google Classroom, it probably would have been neat to put it all, compile it, everything together. But they're all doing their own individual ones, and because it's an anatomy and physiology class, I just had them label their pages as, for example, chapter 1. When we do our dissections, that's a tab, and they upload the pictures and, you know, all of that. So everyone is doing their own portfolio, and every week, Fridays, I take them into the lab, and whatever we've done that week, they add it to the Weebly page.
Okay. To the Weebly, their own Weebly page? I'm sorry.
They're added to their own individual Weebly pages. So one of the tabs I had them do was I had them do like a simple bio because they're seniors. I had them do a resume. I had to do a goals page for short-term, mid-term, long goals. I had them do a, what was another tab I had them do? Oh, for every chapter, they have to do a meeting. Incorporate the Tinker Tale, where they create a video of their PowerPoint for that chapter. So everyone has their own, and you'd be surprised that it looks. I'm very surprised about. Not very, I won't say surprised. Well, I am surprised, but they look very good, and I think that a lot of them are starting to take onus into it. Some of my football players, I noticed they've started to download their own, like their plays and things like that. Although that was it's not what it's supposed to be, but they're all about the page. They took the Libbi to do that, so I didn't want to just be so militant. No, take that down for educational purposes only, because granted that, you know, once they graduate, they know how to create their own website to market themselves. You
Sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So career, because we talk about college to careers, so it's still hitting the post-secondary piece. So, you know, that's not what I wanted. That's what they did. Hence the reason for the demands and all of that. So it kind of took a different spin from where I originally started, because I thought about this being strictly academics, but it's spun to something else, which is, I think, nowadays.
All right. You're kind of breaking up just a little bit. I'm not sure if that's me only hearing that or.
You're breaking up. Yeah, I heard it too.
Oh, no, I was just saying that it started out being a portfolio of just their work, but it has spun into a portfolio of not only their work, but of the other things that they do as well. And so at first I was kind of upset about it because I wanted it to be strictly academics. I was kind of upset, like, no, you can't put your football things on here. But then I thought about it. If I'm truly am trying to expose them to something that they can use in the future, because we always talk about college to careers in high school, if they actually can use this to promote themselves or show that now that they are applying to colleges, some of them have actually said, hey, I have my own webpage, go and check it out. And they have their resumes posted and they're all about me things. So actually it took a different twist from where we first began, because it was supposed to be a student portfolio of just their work, but it has actually spun out of control into something else. Hey, Libby!
Hey!
Finally, success! Thank you, guys.
All right, Libby. Why don't you, give us the books you read and just talk a little bit about what you found from there.
So this is the one that I originally had said I was going to get, Multimodal Learning for 21st Century Adolescent. And then I came across this one here. I don't know if you guys can see the title, but it's Creating a Google-Apps Classroom. And what was kind of interesting was that both of these said they were for multimodal learning, but I feel like the main emphasis was on web searches or using pictures. So it was really, I mean, it has some great ideas, but it was really different than the working with used everything from clothing and, material. It was just more like practical things. Some were good, but just practical things you can do, mostly related to the web.
Okay. All right. So how has your year been going? Have you been using any of the stuff from any of the books?
We made videos, which was a lot of fun, and the kids loved it, and they said that it helped them to understand the concepts better, like volume and density. But then, unfortunately, a 7th grader decided to post pictures that were video, actually, that was super inappropriate, so now we're kind of on a hiatus. Hopefully, once the law department has been contacted.
Oh my God!
But
the law department. Oh my God!
It was really frustrating because they really enjoyed it very much, and we've used dance a little bit.
That's great.
Some of the kids said that really helps them to remember. And then I just had my 7th graders try making songs about some material we were learning. So, but we haven't quite finished that yet, so we'll see how it comes out.
Okay. Gretchen had.
Because I had students, they had an option to write songs, but I also did the assignment too. And I actually rewrote the lyrics to Cheerleader first. And they did not, A, thought it was amazing that I knew that song. And that B, I would rewrite the lyrics. And I was like, yeah, guys, this is what I do in my free time. But
I think you need to sing that now.
Yeah,
no, but I made them sing it, and I posted it to my website.
Let's hear
oh,
it,
you
Gretchen.
did? All right.
Gretchen, can we hear a small bar, please? Just
that'll
as
be in December.
That'll be in December. Oh, but I thought you weren't coming.
No, but virtually I'll share it.
Oh,
nice.
Kyle, you were talking about just portfolios with kids, and I just wanted to share this with you guys since I know Jennifer is at the high school level, but so you, as a teacher, you actually get so many student Weebly accounts for free. I think it's like 40 or something. And I had the students use them, and so I actually control their username and password, so I always have access to it. And then I require, just like you did, Jennifer, I required them to have certain things, like they have to have a bio tab, they can have a blog tab, and then they have to have a portfolio piece for language arts, math, science, and social studies. And then I can assign things through Classroom that eventually are going to be put on their website. But like you said, Kyle, what do? You spend 3 days looking at their website to see things. And I kind of use the share tracker idea from our class. And so on my website, I actually published every kid's first name, and I hyperlinked it to their website. And so when kids have time, they actually just go and peruse other classmates' websites. And so that way they're always looking at each other's websites to be like, oh, so-and-so posted this, or look how they did this. And so it's nice because I have 110 eyes on 110 eyes websites, which is kind of nice because I can't always be the one checking everything, like, so that the fact that their classmates are doing that is just like a nice added piece to that. So
That sounds really nice. I was just checking on every Friday, and I would have them send or email me their link. So every time you save and edit, you publish, you get the link, and I would have them send me the link, and then I would just check each and every page, like every Friday. So I may go back, but would they have
that's
to
a lot of work.
recreate? I know, but at the time I didn't know how else to do it. I wish I would have talked to you in the beginning, but would they, if I go back and I assign them use the 40 free accounts, would they have to go back and recreate everything though? That they've done?
Probably because student accounts don't require an email. They just get a login and a password.
Mm.
See,
So
I
they
have.
go to
How many?
Weebly.com, they go to students.weebly.com. It's
How
a
do you?
separate student.
Sorry. How do you? But you have. Don't you have like 100 and some students?
No, remember I'm
So
only using this
No,
when
no,
I
no. But
need.
no,
Oh,
but Gretchen. I'm sorry, Jeanette. Gretchen. I thought she.
I'm using the 250 from the board to make up the difference. So it's only like $1 per kid. So like
Oh, okay.
it's the $70, and so I'm just using that difference from that board money that we get reimbursed.
so they let you use that for technology? I thought we couldn't use that for technology.
Oh, yeah. I
Um,
think so. I think that's fine.
you
It
can't
probably
use
is
it
up
for
to your
technology,
clerk.
you have to stay at the school.
Oh, wow, okay. So we were told we can't use the money for anything, so I would have done something like that, but we can't use anything technology related, which I think is dumb.
I think just go back and make a proposal. If it's something that is making your kids more 21st century ready, I would put it in those words. I don't see how they could deny that. It's not like you're using it to, like social, just fun. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
you make a good argument for that.
What do you all think about the piece when I told you about the football player who put his couple of his plays up there for college scouts? What do you think about
Why
that?
not?
That's fine.
Okay, because
That's fine.
my initial thoughts were, it's supposed to be, a portfolio of student work. So when he did that, then that led to, others posting or, putting things on the Weebly page that's not necessarily academics. That's what I mean.
Sure. Um, well, we have been on for about 40 minutes. Is there anything else, Libby, that you want to kind of add?
No, what you guys said was a lot of what I was thinking. There weren't really too many, just one of the things that the F pattern really stuck out to me too, like getting the kids to think about who their audience is and how to address them is something important, and giving them, because I realized I had a problem when I gave them one assignment with like way too much freedom. So giving them something to focus on, like that guy who was talking about the apples. Do you
A
guys remember
touch
that
point.
section?
Yep. Yeah.
That's a touch point. That was really helpful. And for the most part, you guys said everything else I would have said.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you all. And thank you, Jennifer Rowsell and Alice Keeler and Libby Miller for the wonderful books. And we'll see you all later.
Kyle,
Nice job, guys.
Kyle,
Bye.
I have a question. Wait.